Rick Bowen. This is a DJ Dish, your neighborhood premiere.
Is that too loud? We're live right now.
No, I'm
so.
good. I'm good. Yeah, man.
Damn, I went and met this cool thought. So thorough from a borough out of New York. Always moving silent. She ain't never heard a goon talk. UFO and Bowen knew she loved it when I moonwalk. Two sides when I moonwalk. Two fly when I moonwalk. Niggas moving silent. You ain't never heard a goon talk. UFO and Bowen knew she loved it when I moonwalk. And I'm back with another one. Who the fuck you know could do it better than my mother's son? Men lie, women lie, rather see them numbers run. All hail PG, I am the son of one. And I ain't gotta tell a motherfucker what the summer do. All I do is crank a hit and everybody bust a move. How it feel to be the
What's
man
going on?
and all these women touching you.
We here, man.
Yeah, the sex was good, but I ain't really into
We here.
Sorry, not sorry. She says she is a Barbie, crazy like she carry.
What's going on, Rick?
It's good, man. It's good. All the way from D.C., man.
The PG County himself.
Yeah. In PG County, but originally from Washingtonia, man, D.C.
Shoot 'em up alley, right?
Shoot 'em up alley, Anacostia, man. Long way.
So, since we brought up Washington, how about them Capitals?
Hey, that's the big thing. I mean, we're hyped about that. You know, you have a lot of loyal fans who go to the Cap games all the time. Personally, I'm just a fan of DC sports.
Okay.
Haven't been to a Caps game, but always, you know, you want to see your hometown do well, and much love to the Washington Caps. You know, Ovechkin, well deserved.
That's his first ring, right?
It's his first one. You know, guy, you know, play hard. Pittsburgh has been a nemesis, or better yet, a monkey on their back, and you know, once they peeled them off, they went and they did their thing. So, much love to the Washington Caps, man. Big ups to them.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations
They
to them
had
guys.
they had us rocking the red, man.
Yeah.
You know, we were. You know, I was wearing the red.
What was the streets like the next
street-
day? I know it was crazy.
It was crazy. I mean, you know, I went to work, but just looking at it, like the night they won, and I was actually driving home listening to them on the radio, and they just they had that no quit attitude, man, and that was big, you know. So sports, you know, it bring people together. You know, it's therapy. I always say it's therapy, one way or the other. Either you go there, you know, you good? You good? Yeah. Okay. You know, you go there to, you know, to be entertained, but you want to see, you know, your home team do well. You know, it's like you're part of it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, I know, you know, between me and you, we've been to a couple games. Let's
You
see,
know how it
we
is,
we went to the Atlanta game, right?
Yeah.
You were there at that when Waddle almost got beat up.
I heard Waddle, we had his back. He had his own back. No, but he was a guest in downtown. We weren't gonna let him get, you know, that would reflect on all of us. So
And then let's see, the Chicago game. So
yeah,
I'm 2-0 in DC.
Yeah,
I run DC.
well, y'all got that. Yeah, you know, since MJ days, Chicago, you know, they haven't been the same. But the Bullets, you know, we just gonna stick with the Caps, because once we get into the other DC teams, you know, with the exception of the Nats, you know, we just need a little help. But
What was it you said the other day? Who to DC? Somebody's coming to DC.
The guy from San Antonio.
Oh, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we have to go out and be aggressive like that. You know, get those type of caliber players. If you want a championship, you know, you got to go after them.
Yeah.
But just don't give up Bill. You know, they was talking about giving up, at least what I heard, Bill and maybe Porter Jr.
Yeah, that'd be a terrible decision.
No, I wouldn't break up
Not
Bill.
for Kawhi. I get rid of John Wall.
I wouldn't. Not yet. John Wall's the baller there, man.
Okay.
So Wall, Bill, you bring Kawhi Leonard. You know, that's your super three right there.
Okay.
You know, that's your triple threat. And we can see what DC do with that. But I don't think Pop in San Antonio is going to let that dude slide
Nah,
out.
yeah, he's definitely not. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Kind of like LeBron in Cleveland. He's not leaving.
I don't know. I think he may. I think he's, you know, he did what he had to do with Cleveland. You know, the first time he left, it wasn't, you know, he left on his own terms, whether you like it or love it, you know, respect it or hate it, you know. I didn't agree with the whole camera type thing. When he announced who he was going to, but that was his thing. You can't have that hate on that. But he came back to Cleveland after they burnt this jersey in the street. I wouldn't have came back. But
Yeah.
it's home. It's home. You forgive, but he delivered.
He did say he was going to bring, well, I think he said like 3 championships, though. One, not 2, but 3.
Yeah,
I think he did promise
Well,
that.
he got 3.
Well, yeah.
He got 3, but but ever since he been there, they've been there. I think they've been to 4 consecutive titles.
Yeah, so real quick, shout out to Braden for watching. Stella, we see you in here.
Yeah.
Also known as your wife.
yeah. My better half.
Shamika's in here as well.
My ribs. Much respect to Shamika.
Don, how you doing? Kirsten, how you doing?
What's up?
We definitely appreciate y'all watching.
Yeah.
So, DC, great place to be. I travel up there quite often, obviously, to see y'all and to see Ricky.
Yeah.
And the nephews and Jenny. So, yeah, I love it up there. I wouldn't mind moving up there eventually in due time. I'd never be a Capitals fan though. I can't convert to the dark side.
I'll tell you, you come up there, you'll convert. You'll convert because it's DC's love, man. Because we're growing. It's the city's changing. It's a lot of investment into DC. One of the later on we'll go with some anonymous quotes, but one quote from our past is where there's no investment, there's no appreciation. So if things we don't appreciate, we won't spend our time in, not just material things, but like with your family. If you don't invest in teaching them, they're not going to appreciate and grow. So those type of things. So once you come to DC, we'll invest in you. We'll watch you appreciate and grow and develop.
Your wife said hey, by the way, and so did Shamika. She said hey, family.
I give him a right eye wink.
So
she know what that means.
We'll go ahead and move on here. So
man.
separation of children in Mexico, the U.S. border.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
I mean, just imagine your own child being snatched from you because, whether we agree on it or not, these people, they're trying to make a better lives for themselves. I know we have rules and regulation to our country, and they do have to be followed, but just snatching somebody's child from them just because they want to make a better life, I totally disagree with that. Have your child snatched from you.
Yeah, that's
for the people who are
yeah.
doing that, that's cold and vicious and heartless, So that, and then what we have to understand is that children scar very easily. We don't know what type of damage was done with these children. If they're going to see their children, I mean, just like we babysit all of our grandbabies, eventually they look at the door and they ask for mommy and daddy. They could be, and they're in a very safe environment with us, but they want mommy and daddy, bottom line to that. So with that, we just as people just need to be sensitive and realize, God created all of us and, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes and of course the people coming over to the, into the U.S., they're I don't disagree with their guidelines that we have to follow in the right way to do things. So maybe it's just a program to look into. And
well, I know they just recently they just passed a law stating that they can't separate them anymore.
Yeah,
or whatever it was.
I mean, why do we need a law to say you can't separate from your children?
No, and I agree with you.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that, but again, a lot of people were. That I discussed that with, whether at work or, outside of work, nobody, agree with that.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't.
Like that, yeah. So we'll see what come about that right there.
Yeah, I feel, first and foremost, I definitely agree. It's wrong to do that. I know if anybody tries to snatch, I mean, I get nervous with my kids just running around today at the graduation. So, I mean, I don't like that idea that we're snatching kids, especially at the border. And like you said, they are trying to make a better life for themselves. That's why they're trying. That's why everybody wants to come to America. Yeah. Whether we are or are not the greatest
country in the world.
Yeah,
It's still a land of opportunity. People still want to come here and build a business, build a family, build an empire. be the CEO of themselves, and just make a better life. And then because they have responsibilities back to their other country, and a lot of countries they don't have the assets and the means that this country has.
And one of the viewers said, "Too bad the law doesn't reunite the children and families." So,
yeah,
I guess it's the ones that are there stuck right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's just something that's just going to have to continue to be monitored, and just touching back on that, can't separate the families.
Yeah,
it's harsh.
Yeah, I don't even know where else to go with that. It's definitely immoral.
Yeah,
and definitely I don't think America as a whole stands for that. So, and that's my personal belief. That's not anybody else but my belief. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're still a powerful country. A lot of things to get right. Although we, this country does a lot. We do a lot of good.
Yeah,
we do a lot of good around the world, known and unknown. But I mean, just look at it. Why do people want to come here? Because there's opportunities.
Yeah.
And this is what America gives them. I wouldn't, you're leaving your own country where you were born at to come to another country that's going to give you better opportunities. Then you take that back to your country to hopefully develop a better infrastructure. So, we can't knock, no matter what, I live here, born here. You can't knock America for that.
Yeah.
Because we help out a lot of people education-wise. So a lot of great things about this country. It's just a basic pros and cons list. You feel me?
Yeah. No, we're definitely on the same page.
Yeah.
So, so next up, we actually have, just so you guys know, we have a long list tonight. Although we keep it short on the topics, we want to touch on a lot of different things. So, normally we keep it to 3, but tonight we got a lot, a whole lot.
Well, yeah, I usually do about 3 topics.
Yeah.
That's because we got a lot to say. Even if we don't get to it all, there's always going to be a part 2, things like that.
Hold on. We got a viewer, Wayne. He said, let me see what he said here. He said, the point is they're breaking the United States law. If I committed a crime and have to go to jail, then my kids can't come with me to jail. Also, most of those kids were sent to the border alone by their parents.
Well, I mean, in response to Wayne's comment, you're correct on that, but also these are different crimes. If you commit a crime, of course your children aren't going to come with you, but this right here, the children are with them. So in a situation like this, they all should stay together. If they have to go back to their country, then fine. Believe me, I'm not disagreeing with the laws because, we have to have laws in this country or else it'll just be a wild, wild west. Why would we need police and FBI and other, agencies like that to patrol our country? The only thing I'm saying is don't separate the children in a situation like this. If they have to stay together and we have to send them back together.
Okay. So next up we got you hit on some anonymous quotes.
Yeah.
We were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You showed me some of the anonymous quotes at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Just a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
So if you want to share some of these quotes, I feel that from what I read, a lot of these quotes you can use in modern day.
Yeah.
And towards your life every single day. So I'll go ahead and let you start reading some of these off. And real quick, before you do that, I want to give a shout out to Jacqueline Johnson, who is an author. She was on the show a couple episodes ago. If you guys haven't yet, go check out authorhouse.com or amazon.com. Her book title is called Mend Me. It's 26 poems, so shout out to her. We definitely appreciate her coming on the show. Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
Before we move on.
Uh-huh.
So shout out to Jason Harmon. He said, not only that, a lot of these kids are not the children to the parents, quote unquote, who come with them. Then the real parents send their of-age girls over here when they are on their period, so they have less of a chance of getting raped.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more to what we know and what we're discussing.
Yeah.
So, this is a major issue. That's why, you see we're getting comments back on this. We discussed it a little bit, but a lot of people have their opinion about it. But,
and that's all we're talking anyway, is our opinion. And
that's it.
we're not justifying what's right from wrong because, we don't have that power, just so everybody at home can understand this is all opinionated within this topic. Now, other topics, we obviously fact check a lot of things, but we appreciate the comment, Jason, definitely.
Oh, yeah, bring him in. And also, just make sure you support this this young man. And he's doing his thing. A nice little studio that he set up. So
it's not just me though. Shout out to your oldest son.
Yeah. Shout out to Ricky and Patrick. They, you all.
I know Patrick pretty much the same age as you, so he probably giving Ricky a lot of guidance for it.
Patrick probably like 5 years younger than me. But also, since we're getting shout outs, congratulations to Rachel.
Yeah, definitely.
My daughter, she graduated today. Got her degree, and great feeling. Not just for her, for the whole family.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
When we make an accomplishment like that in this family, it's for everybody to celebrate. Her mother did an excellent job with her, raising her, picking out the schools for her. And, me just supporting that vision.
Even though she barely made it out of elementary, right?
I'm the originator of the beating her from around the world, if you need your child straightened up, send them to me. Just sign on the dotted line. It takes a village to raise a child. So,
real quick. So how do you feel? Because I know Ricky he's got a bachelor's, correct?
Yeah.
So now you got 2 kids. So
yeah,
you only have 2 kids, obviously, but both kids
and
with
that's true.
both kids with degrees. So I'm sure that's a real proud.
Yeah.
Shamika's laughing.
Yeah. Stella and I, we that's one thing we've always been on one accord with is the way we raise our children into adults. I used to sit Ricky down in the car, driving with him and just telling him things that I knew he didn't understand at the time, but I just kept repeating and until
consistency.
Until he can respond back. As far as like one day, you and I, we having a father and son conversation now, but eventually we're going to have a man-to-man conversation. It always should still be father and son. I know, he's sitting in the car seat and I'm telling him that, and he's like not hearing it. He's looking out the window, pointing out exit. He's an exitologist. Yeah, so I'm going to read one quote. This is from an anonymous person. And the reason I like quotes and I pick them up because to me, it's baptized by fire. It's people who've been through things. Again, whether you like it or not, just appreciate what how original people are, and that's why I respect with people. So this one is from an anonymous person. It says, "Create and accept your challenges in life before the challenges accept you. When you accept your challenges, then you will determine the plan, outcome, and goals. But when life challenges chooses you, it's unplanned and uncertain, and there's no visions, no goals." So you can bite that, chew it, swallow, and regurgitate it.
Go ahead and break that down.
Well,
in your sense.
Well, I think.
I mean, obviously, we come from 2 different eras. I know you're about 70-some, so.
Hey, if I'm 70 and I'm, hey, I'll take it, and before we, I break that down, since you put that in, hey, look, that's a record these days. Living out D.C., when I grew up, it wasn't a lot of shooting. It was just, a lot of brawling and fighting and things like that. But, these kids, it's no value for life, to go and just take someone's life over shoes, clothes, or whatever, because there's no comeback from that. Then your life is ruined. That person's dead. Their family life is not the same. Your family's life not the same, and you're in jail, and your name is Susie. No, but what I think is that when you have a plan, and you have a vision, and you set timelines and goals, and just for example, let's use Rachel as an example, since she just graduated from college. So a couple of years ago, she laid out a systematic plan to develop her education, to grow, how she would do the online classes, and how she was consistently move forward with it. And then, you being the family man, with your position, sometimes you have to go out for a certain time.
Correct.
So, but the household still has to be maintained. So her vision and her challenges are there. Challenges are always going to be there. There's no easy button in life, that's Staples commercial, there's an easy button. I've yet to see it. Life is hard no matter what choice we made, it's going to build us. So I think when they said create and accept your challenges, because the challenges are going to be there. And when you accept it, you can set your plans, you can look at the outcome, and you see your goals. You see your goals first, where you want to be, and then you determine how to get to your goals. But when you're just going through life day to day, no plans, just going through, then you're going to find yourself in activities, and they're going to choose what you're going to do. No one wins in the street. Let me tell you that. Nobody wins in the street. The street will take you out. The streets are undefeated.
So just to go into that, I know we have our little agenda over here, but I'm gonna segue down a couple.
Sure.
So you and I were talking earlier about this cat XXX Tentacion, who
is that the rapper?
That is the rapper, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was supposedly claiming the streets, and he just so happened to be buying a motorcycle one day, and pretty much was part of a robbery where he was the victim, and got killed.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy needs to slow down. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he's doing
We keep it organic over here. But yeah, so this guy, Triple X, or X, whatever you want to call him, gets shot 3 times. One hit the back of his neck.
Wow.
Ends up passing away. Now,
they know who did it?
They got a suspect in custody with no bail, but another video came out today of another guy who I'm going to go ahead and say it is a coward first and foremost, because he had his face covered up, all red, and you can only see his eyes. So, but he was like, I'm the one that did it, this and that.
Really?
If you want to keep claiming or dissing in Florida, he's from Florida. So if you want to keep claiming and dissing in Florida, I'm taking all rappers out in Florida.
Oh, really?
So that's what this video stated. But
so he's taking rappers out because they dissing him.
I don't know exactly what the diss was or what happened. But that just goes back to what you said. The streets, you'll never win in the streets. So
nobody wins in the streets, man. I'm telling you. And from experience, I couldn't be a part of it. Saw where where it was going, and one thing we got to realize, and a message I'll pass to you, Ricky and Patrick, because you all are family men. I know, we're gonna get Patrick right. Now, he's a good dude. Patrick's an entrepreneur. That's my nephew's son. But these streets, they're Tetris, man. They're dangerous.
Yeah.
And you got to understand, you have to stay focused. And just like you put your child in activities, we have to stay in activities.
Yeah.
We have to keep ourselves not just
busy,
productive. But it goes back to when I was coming up and rap was really growing, and it was had some phenomenal rappers. Look at till this day, Biggie and Tupac murders are unsolved. I believe there are people who know who committed these murders, but these guys, their lyrics are second to none. Whether you want to call one the best over the other, these guys.
Tupac was definitely the best.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Initially I thought Biggie was, but I've been watching that All Eyes on Me like several times. I don't know how true. I know those movies like that. They're embellished, things like that. But that guy, he was poetic.
Yeah.
He's poetic. So he was one who he listened to Shakespeare, quoted Shakespeare, and how many people are going out doing that. So he wasn't no idiot. But again, in
going
the
back to the
streets,
yep.
The streets are undefeated. And what we got to understand is that when we are out there, Satan will give us what we want to destroy us. And then that was one of the quotes or statements his mother had said to him being Tupac, is that, people would give you what you need to destroy you. A drug dealer would give you free drugs to get you to on the comeback.
Yeah.
They give you a hookup a couple of times, and then when you get hooked, you're done. You're done. Have you selling your shoes, your watches, your cars,
your ass,
your ass. Just like in that movie, the dude's like, for I give you, what was that movie? It wasn't, Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
So, I give you some, hey, and cheeseburger, man.
Yeah. But going back to this Triple X cat.
Yeah.
First off, rest in peace to him. That's a sad ordeal. Nobody deserves to be killed over blasphemy. I mean, that's when he got robbed, they only found $10,000 in the Louis Vuitton bag.
Oh, really?
That's all he had on him.
Wow.
So, and that's what that guy that was in that video was claiming. So, again, obviously nobody knows the full story except for the people that were there. But they're actually comparing this cat to Biggie and Tupac. And I don't know how you feel about that, coming from a different era than
his music?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with this guy, but to put him in that category is really putting him on the pedestal. I don't know.
So a big thing with him is that he pretty much rapped a lot about depression and suicide and stuff like that. So the claim, and I listen to his music now.
Yeah.
The claim is that what he was saying, he was actually living out what he's talking about.
That's what I was going to say.
So,
yeah.
And he had a Instagram video that was like, excuse my language, but he was like, I don't give a fuck as long as my music helps 5 million people to reevaluate their life and understand that everybody has a purpose.
Yeah.
And that's, now granted, this dude had allegedly beat his pregnant girlfriend to where she's blind in her right eye.
Okay. No respect for that.
No, definitely not. He, what else did he do? Witness tampering, many felons. Many felonies. I don't have the whole list, and I could pull it up at a later time, but I do listen to his music now, and even he said in 2014 that you're not really known or missed until you're dead.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to what he was saying in his music because I was so struck on, these are mumble rap, new cat, trash, just off the rip.
So he was looking to be famous after his death, huh? How would he know that?
Well, and
that would get me.
And that's one of the things that people are saying. He set up a fake, like they're saying he's still alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
Machiavellian.
Yeah. So I don't believe it. I saw the actual video. It was like a Snapchat video of this kid slumped in his car. Yeah, he was he's dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe that he's gone.
Because I was going to comment that if this guy is if he's doing this for publicity stunt, then he's accountable. Why would you go through all of this? Fake your death. Just to elevate your sales and your records or your legacy. That to me, your credibility would be shot. But if this guy's dead, I don't see too many black people faking their death. Because Elvis may be still out there somewhere, but Biggie, and Pac,
they're gone.
They gone. Let me hit you with this since we're talking about rappers dying and stuff.
Okay.
So here's another anonymous quote. It's more relating to black men. So it say, "Black men, wake up. How are you living? Do you enjoy destroying your brother? For who? For what?" And then one more. This says, "The greatest trick in the world is redesigning a trick that has already fooled you. Drugs, music, sex, and lies are Satan's same magic act since he counseled Eve and the fall of man started." And the fall of man, just for you people who believe in Christ, we know that comes from Genesis chapter 2. It talks about the fall of man. It didn't happen. Took years for that to happen. So, we have to be careful who counsel we listen to. I think in our family, as we're growing, we have our circle.
No, definitely, yeah.
So it's a trust factor there, So, and just touching on some other things. We learned that we may have additional family, so we're going to check that out. That's just a little segue, but our circle's building, and I think Stella and myself, we could offer you all a lot of wisdom. I think you all are doing great. You may think you're going to go through some struggles, things like that.
I mean, that's life in general,
though. Oh yeah, that builds you. That builds character and content. So, your children are safe. They're happy. They're healthy. They're growing. You definitely got to invest in your marriage and just keep moving forward. We always a drive away, a phone call away, just for advice, things like that. But I think or I believe that you get the right investors in this, that you can take this to, you can elevate it. You can elevate this. So I can see a lot of good things into this. So, just keep moving forward, brother.
And shout out to Ricky Jr. He just joined the chat. So
okay, all right.
So let's see what
else we got going on.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So with this, right, going back to Triple X again. Yeah. We see you here, Ricky. We see you.
Okay. What's up, Rick?
So with this shooting and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can actually bring you in, Rick. Let me see.
How was little Ricky's birthday? I know he had a blast today.
I'll see if it'll work. I sent it to you, Rick. So
let me send a little shout out to my little grandson.
Go ahead.
He's the oldest one of the Fabulous Five. Ricky, happy birthday, man. We're proud of you. You're an intelligent little guy growing up. Make sure you listen to your mom and your daddy and your uncles and aunties and your circles. We're just going to show you the right way, man.
Your son wants to know if you're wearing the khaki shorts.
Tomorrow.
So, and to add on to that, to little Ricky, Wakanda forever. Because I know they like doing that.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, back to the Triple X and, the murders and stuff like that. And glorifying it, just in music for the most part, they glorify the streets.
Yeah.
The streets. So do you think that celebrities or professional athletes should be role models for the children?
Give a solid answer, no.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, because we don't know them. TV would show you what you want to see. We don't know their character. We don't know their conduct. We don't know what they do behind closed doors. Look at the all that, whether they were true or not, the allegations on Michael Jackson. Great entertainer.
Yeah.
Great entertainer. But would you leave your kids with Michael Jackson?
Negative.
Would you leave your kids with Michael Jackson? Would you leave your kids with Michael Jackson? Again, once you get that label of like a child molester, greatest entertainer in the world, or athlete, or if you got an athlete that's a narcotic user, drug user.
Yeah, who was it? I think it was more your era.
Who's that?
He said he used to get
a lot of.
He used to get coked up before the games.
Oh, I know this one guy in college when Villanova played Georgetown. It was one of their guards.
Okay.
He was high on coke, and they shot Georgetown down. Villanova shot like 72%. Maybe
he was focused.
He was focused.
Extra focused.
And Georgetown shot 68%. Somewhere, maybe plus or minus 2. But years later, he admitted to that. So to me, it's a lot of pain in that. And again, that's where them drugs come in there. Satan give them to you. You got the people around you. Think they got to pay for it?
Not at all.
No. So getting back to our point, no, I don't believe entertainers or professional athletes or anyone in the limelight should be a role model for your child. I believe that. I believe that that's Patrick.
Okay.
I believe that.
Hello, Pat. You live on the show.
Yeah, I know. I called you in while we watching it.
Hey, so we were just talking about how you're about 5 years younger than your Uncle Rick.
Oh, nice. I'll take it as a compliment.
5 years younger, but 20 years less in wisdom. What's up, Pat?
2 inches longer.
the ears.
Hey, Rick said get Dad the phone.
Okay.
Why
So
y'all
and real quick, so Jason Harmon said the parents should be a child's first role model.
Absolutely. I agree with him 100 because who are they in the house with? Who's feeding them?
Who's that? Yeah.
Yeah.
We got him on this line.
You know what this is?
Yeah, we got him.
We're talking about role models, but definitely the parents. I mean, you feeding the child, you clothing the child. Hopefully, you're teaching the child, and sometimes the parents may not be at their best, but it's a reason God gave them to you, So no, definitely not. I wouldn't put an athlete, in front of me just because of what they have, because they got millions of dollars.
So do you get starstruck?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I'm not starstruck. They're people, they're doing a good thing. I believe in my profession, which, and I'll explain. I think somebody asked about it. I'll talk about that in a little bit. That we, my profession, we do a good thing. I'm in healthcare. Healthcare is, a blessing.
Yeah.
You got some great people from physician, nurses, my profession. Hold on. Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, so real quick.
Hey, I just want to come in real quick. Say shout out to both of y'all. I appreciate doing this podcast tonight. It means a lot to me to watch it. You being me being your son, and AJ, my brother-in-law. So I just show a little bit of love to both of y'all real quick.
All
yeah,
right,
no problems, man. We definitely
that.
appreciate it.
Hey, Rick, how was Rick's birthday?
Rick's birthday was great. I had a whole bunch of cousins came over. Gary, Thomas, Martina, Auntie Teresa's over here, your sister. It was great.
What about kids?
Oh, it was probably about like 10, probably 10, 12 kids over here.
Yeah, that's how our family roll, man. We roll in packs, so support one another, and also get well wish to my mother. She's going through a little rehab in her shoulder. She can't throw that. Yeah, she can't throw that right hook. She can't throw that right hook or that uppercut, right now. But she's a trooper. She's been major in my life as well. Being a single mother, raising 6 of us in DC, and all of us, 6 of us till this day, I believe are productive, going through our ups and downs, and also our children, as far as education and going above us. I say all of you are doing that, and that's the goal. Don't just be at our level. Go above.
Yep.
Go above, and then you get your children to go above, and then generations get strong, because this world, as we learn in our church, it waxes worse and worse. And but until the day we call home, let's be at our best.
That's the goal right there, Pops.
That's the goal.
Also, you, me, AJ, Pat, Family Fair Part 2 coming soon.
Coming soon. That's a fact.
Okay. All right, let me know.
Absolutely. All right, y'all going to get back to it. I ain't stealing y'all thunder. Have a good show.
All right, man. Peace.
So yeah, that was your son, obviously, but for the viewers at home, like Rick Senior said, we move in packs, and we definitely we have each other's back no matter what. Even in life,
Yeah.
I know we've had issues where we had to come to you guys, and so on and so forth. So
yeah, hey, we've been through it too. We've been through the
trials and tribulations.
I mean, you got to go through them. I don't know anyone in life who hasn't been through, anything significant. And the thing is for everyone to accept their own problems, not want to escape them.
And real quick, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
So you got a viewer. Pop should become a ship's mentor. Positive messages and real knowledge from Jason Harmon. So
okay, appreciate that, Jason. Appreciate you, man.
So
yeah,
where were we? Let's. Oh yeah. Celebrities and professional athletes as role models. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my 2 cents in real quick.
Go ahead. Do your
I
thing.
feel, and me coming up in the '90s. You already had 2 kids, so me coming up in the '90s. Besides my father, who drove me to be the best that I could be at at life.
Much respect.
And my mother as well, keeping me in line. Mother was the enforcer for sure. But my father always told me, if I'm going to do something, make sure I put my full potential into it.
Absolutely.
And a quick story. So he got upset with me my junior year in high school because I quit the basketball team because I didn't feel like I was getting the minutes that I deserved. And he pretty much told me, first and foremost, he paid for it. So he's upset off of that, number one. But the next year I wanted to come out and play again, and I had to pay for it for myself. So, yeah. But as far as role models, so I grew up watching Jordan play basketball, and obviously the people that are watching know that I'm a huge basketball head over anything. But I admired Jordan for who he was on the court, and I feel like athletes and this is just athletes, maybe not celebrities, but athletes. So people like LeBron James, who you've never heard a scandal besides he's taking his talents to South Beach.
I respect
him. I think as long as that person is giving a positive message, again, and I'm going to go back to LeBron. He he's got his own setup in Akron, giving back to the kids, to the schools. Right. I think he pretty much built a whole new gymnasium for the school he went to. Yeah. So I feel like if you're giving a positive message to the youth, then yes, that's okay to look up to. But the second, that can go away in a millisecond. Yeah. So, and it's like you said, we pretty much have to monitor our children to make sure that they're doing what is in our eyes right, because they're living up to our expectations, not anybody else's. So
just to echo on that, because there are some athletes that quite a few that send a lot of positive message. This guy who used to play in the NFL, Warwick Dunn, he built homes.
Oh yeah, running back for the
Tampa Bay.
Yep.
He built homes for single women, because his mother was a single woman, so he had a passion for that, and so that's a great message. The only thing I'm saying is, although these athletes and entertainers and people in the limelight are doing these things, no matter what, they still the parents must always be first, because your voice is most important to your child. No matter what, how great someone is on the outside,
you don't know what's going on in the inside.
You don't want them to have that authority over there. And then actually, I think coming in line, this quote right here from Anonymous goes into what we're talking about. It says, "Always family first. It may be complicated and hurtful at times, but if love is there, it will not fail."
So. Okay. What about priests? Do you think priests should be role models?
The priests, they've been in scandal so many times. I think, whether it's a priest, pastor, or any man of God, that takes that position to lead a flock and to lead them astray, that's a very dangerous place. Again, you're the reinforcer in your household. You go to church. We'll talk about religion a little bit and with your beliefs, but you go to church, you listen to, the pastor get up there, and a lot of people got to understand it's not the pastor you're following, it's your God that you believe in. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's only one true living God, and that's Christ for me. And but again, it goes back to your child. I won't waver on this, because
no, you're good. Yeah,
your children, you're the ones that have to sit down with them and say, okay, if they have a question, or even if they admire, like you were saying, if they admire a LeBron James, if they admire a priest or a pastor or an entertainer, you can say that's fine. You can maybe point out their work ethic. I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Their work ethic and how they give back, and they can use that as a tool that they can implement in their life. So that's cool. That's cool with that. But again, you're the one tucking them in at night. You're the one that's supporting them.
Yeah, putting the roof over their heads, feeding them.
Yep,
I get it.
So on that, there are a lot of great people in this world, and I think that's where we need to focus at, but not be fooled, and stay focused. Is that family first.
Yeah. Hey Brian, how you doing? I definitely appreciate the comment. Hope everything's going good with you. So Definitely appreciate you tuning in. Just a quick shout out to him. He left a comment in the comments.
Give him all love. Show him all love.
Yeah,
everybody
definitely.
to tune in.
Without y'all, we don't have this platform to talk on and give our opinions.
Somebody tell somebody. That's how I get around. I'm listening to this podcast. That, this man AJ's doing his thing. I think you should tune in and become a subscriber.
Definitely subscribe, please.
Yeah.
So, you kind of hit on what I was going to bring up next, religion and beliefs. Who is your God?
Yep.
You kind of went into it. So if you want to elaborate, and then I'll give my point of view.
Yeah. The way we were raised in our household is that you identify who your God is, because there's so many gods. In India, I believe there are over 300 gods. A tree's a god, a cow's a god. So I don't go to or believe in anything that I can basically create, but who created me, and to be direct, and that's Jesus Christ.
My bad, I wasn't laughing at you. By the way, I'm reading these. I'm reading these comments. These guys are. I don't know if I even want to read this while we're talking about God. So go ahead.
No, read them, man. That's why we here. It's all raw. What would you all say?
All
Keep
right.
it organic.
Yeah. Okay. So these are just some guys that I work with on my old boat. He said, Joe. He's talking about Joe Maggery, the guy we're going to play golf with tomorrow. He said, when was the last time someone seed on your face? So these guys are ruthless.
Well, let them deal with that.
Yeah, whatever y'all into.
Yeah, I enjoy the sport golf, and it's a relief.
Yeah.
But they can see it in each other's face.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, no, but getting back to religion and belief, I only believe there's one true God. I do believe Christ came down in the form of God, sent him Christ down to atone for our sins because we wasn't right. And I'll start with myself. I've had many of sins and things that I'm getting right till this day, and always will. As long as I'm in this flesh and this body, I gotta just keep putting things under captivity, because the flesh is always going to want to do worldly things. So we can't fool ourselves and say, I'm gonna get my body right. No, you get your mind right, you get your spirit right, and then you put your body, the things of this world, into captivity, because we want to do these things.
Yeah.
There's things we want to do as people. I mean, get real with it, but we got to understand the consequences of our action, and it's not always good. And that's where I said earlier that when Satan comes in, he'll give us that, if we need a little bit of money, get that coke. If we need a little bit of money, to get that prostitute $100, $200 on the street, or we need that money, go gamble our house away. People go to Vegas, gamble their life away, thinking they, going to, get the money to pay, set their life up and things like that. We just have to be careful. So, and it's not all about, with religion, it's about righteousness, and growing and developing.
So, and I mean, I've read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I've been confirmed. I was baptized, everything.
Yeah.
So, do you believe, when you pray, are you talking to God, or are you talking to Jesus Christ? Because that's a big thing people have that I've worked with have discussed. Who is God, who is Jesus Christ. Yeah. So, and that's a lot of people haven't read the Bible. Yeah. Now, granted, I can't quote it like you or Rachel or Ricky is real knowledgeable on the Bible. So
just get it and open it and read it. Instead of quoting. As long as it's in your heart and you have the heart to do the right thing. But the answer to the question is
real quick. And I don't mean to.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Have you ever been to Israel? Coming from Jason again.
No, never been to Israel.
So I actually have.
Yeah.
Just recently on my last deployment.
Right.
And matter of fact, I have a Bible that I was supposed to give to you guys that I haven't yet. It's actually in the car.
Oh, cool.
Supposedly, and you're in Israel. They're trying to target Americans on money. So, but supposedly in this Bible is it's dirt that Jesus Christ supposedly walked on. So. And I'll show that to you after we get out of here. But
the same dirt lasts that long? No.
I mean maybe, in a sense, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, haven't been to Israel. But one thing I do,
he said it's a mind-blowing experience.
Yeah,
so, and yeah, it was. It was.
I bet it is.
You could definitely tell something was there. So, and like I said, I'll get into my side here in a minute. So.
No, but going back, you have to understand it's the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. They're one. They're not separate. And John 17 teaches us how to pray, and also, or I believe it's John 15 where Christ said He's the true vine, Him and the Father, they're one. But we have to understand is that when we talk about God, we're talking about Christ, and we're talking about the Holy Spirit. So as Christ ascended up to heaven, He didn't leave us lonely or helpless. So He sent us a Holy Spirit, and that Spirit now, live within us, and it's not this freaky feeling or anything like this. It's how we feel now in our belief, in our mindset, because God, he had to die for us to bring us back to a righteous standard with Him. So God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit are one, and the Holy Spirit lives within us, so we won't be helpless or hopeless. Prior to Christ, during the Old Testament time, they didn't have the Holy Spirit. Priests, they would go into the altar, they would pray. That's when we had the sacrifices of goats and doves and lambs and things like that, because it was a blood sacrifice, things like that. But then once Christ did the ultimate blood sacrifice, then the cutting of the goats and things like that, that's Old Testament.
Okay.
So
yeah. So I definitely believe that there's a God, for my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know you said it's something that you feel, or how you feel right now. Now I've talked to many people that say that they've had this crazy experience. Okay, real quick, coming back to you. What is your view on the book of Job? Or Job?
Well, Job was a righteous man in God's eyes. And Job, Job went through a lot of things. He went through sickness, disease. He lost his family. And Satan told, Satan told, what people have to understand is that Satan used to be an anointed cherub. He controlled the music, the airways of the music, and just to give you that blip. So going to Job, Job was a faithful man of God, and God saw Job as a righteous man. And then, but Satan said that, like if you took Job land and you took, Job family, he would curse you and die. And Job didn't. Long story, Job didn't. Job stayed faithful to God, even on the bed when his body was boiled with sores and things like that. He never cursed God. He had faith and he had belief in God. And, he proved Satan a liar, and Satan's the father of all lies. So Job is a righteous man.
Yeah, that was deep. Yeah, so again, I like this guy, Austin Goodman. Yeah, he definitely a great man. Like I said, my father-in-law. So before I get into it, so just a funny story. First couple times that I met Rick, we had went to the men's fellowship at your church.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, I was dating his daughter. We weren't married at the time, and I'm super nervous.
So good.
Pretty much the first time that I met Rick and Stella, they pretty much told me they'd put me at gunpoint if need be. So,
see, that's what we need, healing. We need the Lord to forgive us. Please, Father, forgive us for our sins in taking lives and being on the streets.
So, the first time we went to men's fellowship, I'm super nervous, and the pastor's talking about pretty much looking outside of your who you're dating or who you're married to. And he said, if you've ever done this, stand up. Well, before the service even started, Rick told me to stand up for yeah, it's a good story. So Rick told me to stand up when they asked for the visitors, and I was so nervous that I was like trying to pay attention, but I wasn't paying attention because I had other things going through my mind, like, is this guy gonna like me? long story short, I stood up when they asked if people were looking outside of who they were dating, and the only thing I remember after that is you said, "Oh, that's real good of you to stand up." So yeah, from the jump, I definitely didn't think that was a good first time going to men's fellowship.
No, it was
together.
good. It was good because you and Ricky was there with me.
Yeah,
so
Ricky was there too. Yep.
We had a good time, and then it was a great time. Things like that. So let me throw one more quote in there real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I think I'm trying to line. I'm looking at these quotes and I'm trying to line them up with what we're talking about. So. As far as religion, it said, what else can I do but overcome, stand, and conquer the darts and arrows that thrown in my life? Thanks be to God that light overcomes darkness. Truth destroys all lies, and loves put hate in the grave to resurrect no more.
Yeah, that's deep. That's real deep. Yeah. So, back to my story. So yeah, first and foremost, I 100% believe in a God. I've never had that experience that people have talked about where they're like, I felt God in me, or I felt the presence of God. I don't know exactly, and I hate when these guys get on here. So Joe Magry said the last time he had somebody see on his face was last night. So Jesus. God forgive these guys.
I told you nobody. Look, hey Joe, nobody's perfect, man. Nobody's perfect,
But so I personally have not felt that experience.
Yeah.
And being in the military, I don't get to go to church as often as I should. And that's no excuse by any means. So I'm not trying to, use that as a crutch to be like, oh, that's why I'm not going to church. I definitely need to get back in there to feel what that experience is, or to see. And I had somebody recently, shout out to Sharoya Menace, a good sister on the boat. She kind of explained it to me as if you want to feel it, just read the Bible.
Yeah. Actually, I agree with that, because then that's how you develop an intimate relationship with Christ, because although you're getting your lessons from a pastor or a priest or whoever the speaker is, or the teacher, better yet, you have to know for yourself. And that's the way, my mother, she used to, I'm telling you, I used to, come in 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and then my mother Sunday morning be standing on me, you going to church. And sometimes, or just to go, and growing up, being a young man. But, I used to like to go out and just have a good time on, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
yeah.
After work or whatever, But then, even back in the day, and when I met Stella, we were, we used to just have a good time, just going out and just, enjoying ourselves. But then, we grew, we developed it. Then
Andrew, what's going on, buddy? Appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, once we had family, you don't want to stop enjoying each other and things like that, but you line up your priorities and things like that. So I agree with the person who said, the best way to know God is, to read the Bible for yourself and pray. Your prayers don't have to be these super prayers, things like that, as long as you're sincere in them.
And to tune into that, or to pinpoint on the prayer thing, this young lady that I talked to also said that God isn't going to answer somebody's prayers that isn't fully invested into Him.
Yeah.
So
where there's no appreciation, there's no investment, and what you don't invest in doesn't appreciate.
So anybody that has questions about that, first and foremost, go to church. I'm not a professional.
Yeah.
I don't, I've already admitted that, I don't read the Bible as much as I should.
Yeah.
I definitely need to start going to church more often. But that's not, again, not a crutch for me to say, I don't believe in God, because I definitely believe in God. I believe that there's an afterlife. I believe that, something happens when we pass away. So
yeah, it's something greater than us, man. This life is not it. Here on earth, we're not meant to be here. We're here, 70, 75 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. But then, you want to live quality life and things like that. So um, let me touch on because I know someone had asked you what is a respiratory therapist.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's my profession. It started in actually 1943 as inhalation therapist. It was Dr. Edward R. Levine, which actually started.
Miss T. Williams Holland said, "Hey, little big brother."
Little big brother. What's up, sis? I appreciate my sisters for doing a great job with my mother. So when I get back, I got to do my job. Remember, I'm just a baby. So, yeah, my sisters, they were great. Trying to think how much they pushed me around, growing up. Things like that. I'm trying to think.
Maybe that's why you're sensitive.
I'm not scarred. I'm not scarred or anything like that. At least I'm not mean to women, especially my wife. Things like that. She said I always can do better. So, but definitely give a shout out to my wife for all the greatness she's done, and the things and values that she's added in my life. We've been married 30 years.
She said, "Yep, you deserved it."
But she, definitely, a wife like that makes you a better man, things like that, and make you want to be better, and and just prove yourself, in a marriage, marriage is hard. You can't sit up here and tell, oh, it's a bed of roses, things like that. Take at least 5 years, for you all to get it together, and really get to know each other, and then you really get into your marriage, and then you can't lose sight of each other.
It's a constant building.
Always. But to get back on track, we was talking about the therapist. I'm just going to touch on this a little bit.
Yeah, no problem.
Actually, it was started in a hospital. It was called Michael Reese Hospital in Chicago. That was back in '43. And basically, respiratory therapists, we're part of the healthcare team. We work with patients with a lot of pulmonary respiratory problems within the lungs, and just to keep it laid. So when you go in the hospital, we work in all areas in the hospital, whether it's the ICU, intensive care unit, or the NICU, where the neonatals intensive care unit. You're going to find your respiratory care practitioners there. Whether we're doing oxygen therapy, bronchodilator therapies. Go ahead.
One of the guys said like iron lungs.
Yeah. Actually, the iron lung was a ventilator. You see that big box look like a coffin, but your head just sticking out of. That was actually a ventilator back in the day, one of the first ventilators. And then now, technology have them where you can pretty much hold them in your hand like this, but they're powerful. Have a lot of modes and things like that in there. So all the shout out to all the respiratory care practitioners in the world. Much love to you. I understand what you're going through. I understand your heavy schedules. My team, back in DC, I appreciate all of them. They mean a lot to me. We build each other. We talk about critical care thinking, and there's a lot of pulmonologists out there that I really glean from. Definitely, and nurse managers, and nurses at our hospital. So I give them, a lot of respect for the people in healthcare, because we do it with a passion. My wife's in healthcare; she's great at what she does. You have to be passionate about wanting to help someone get better.
Yeah.
And then sometimes family's not always appreciative. You can't, and that's where the tough skin has to come in. That they're not always going to say thank you. They're going to shoot up the middle. Seriously, they, hey, if they think you're not taking care of their loved one, and some of them have a right, they're not there for, because some of the families don't have, the best insurance or the best money, but their family need help.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, and real quick, just to give you a little breakdown.
Yeah.
So this show, Word Around Town, we the big thing that we pride ourselves on here, ourselves being me right now, we bring somebody on the show that has some kind of business, and I know recently, within the last year, you have started your own business. So you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah. Back in 2016 October, I started a small respiratory company called Standard of Excellence. I went out. I had one contract. It was very hard for me to keep it going. I know in 17, I really didn't do any business, but my goal is to. I'm actually going to focus back on home care once I really get things situated a little bit better. But I did start it. I went out, got a contract. I went out, taught nurses about trach cares, dealing with people with artificial airways and CPAP and shit. So I did education at this one place, and also had a few employees. But like I said, nothing comes easy. Went out, got my articles of organization, EIN number, LLC, like you all have with this.
Shout out to Ricky.
Yeah, comptroller called me.
I'm gonna call him Middle Ricky.
Middle Ricky, yeah. He needs some wiggle room a little bit, but he's doing his thing. So you all are doing your thing with that. So business, you got to keep the grind going because you need something, some type of legacy or something. No matter what comes out of this, at least I put my foot forward, and then you all can see this, and then you can get your thing going. And our children see this, and they see that we're moving forward beyond the 9 to 5, hours or things like that. That we have other interests that we're doing in passions.
And not just that, the big thing for me as far as businesses go is this could be something, first and foremost, on the video. Even if I pass away, my kids will always know what I thought, my thought process.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the main thing for me on this. But it's also something that, hopefully my kids also find a passion for, and I can pass this down to them,
right,
assuming that this gets successful, or even if it doesn't, I'm not here just to make money. That's not the case.
Right.
My main focus is to make sure my kids, God forbid if I pass away early, know who I was and what I was about. But if the money comes, it's something that I could pass down to them.
Right. Yeah, and something they may be able to elevate.
Yeah.
You take this at a level. And then they take over it, and then they have their ideas, they have their visions and goal, and then who knows? So the thing is for us to get it started. That's the biggest thing.
The hardest part.
That's the hardest part, and lay the foundation down.
So
like that.
Let's see. So we're at hour 7 right now.
Okay.
So another thing that we had on the agenda, and I believe, so we have 2 things left.
What's that?
Acknowledgments and the aggressiveness, and then are women targeting men, no matter their current state. I don't know if you want to get into that, if we're going to leave it.
No, we can touch on it a little bit. I don't know how much time we have left, but
we have as much time as you want.
Yeah,
I mean, we're the owners of the show, so we could do whatever. We got a lot of viewers actually too, so shout out to everybody paying attention.
So acknowledgments, again, first, I thank my wife. I want to acknowledge her for what she do, and how hard she works, and the investment and passion that she puts into the family. That's definitely appreciated, respected, and valued, and definitely loved. So, I acknowledge her first, as well as, my sons and daughters. I put an S on both because, you and Jenny are, now sons and daughters. And then you all gave us, 5 beautiful, each one
stubborn.
each one of them had their own personality, grandbabies, but, I think acknowledge them, things like that, and I'll also be a fool without if I don't acknowledge my mother, my sisters, and my siblings growing up, my brother, because all of them had something to add to my life. When the thing, AJ, we got to realize is that when we're successful in life, there's a lot of people who laid that roadmap down for us.
This is all passed down from generations, not just us.
They helped us. They sat down, talked to us. Or we may have seen them do something and it added to our lives. So there's a lot of people out there to really thank, and be appreciative of. So
and something I learned in my young 28 years, is that and this is, I don't care who you are, what you think you have in your mind, no idea is original.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, we come in AD, BC.
Yeah.
The early 1800s, 1900s, everything that we know about, no idea is original. Now, it maybe with technology, I guess I can give that to you.
Uh-huh.
But I don't believe that, you know, even within technology, like somebody, a little kid when he was like 12 years old, you know, Steve Jobs coming up with Apple.
Yeah.
You know, how old was he when that came about, and was he the only person thinking about that? So to me, no idea is original.
I'm agree with you because there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
You know.
You just perfect it.
Yeah. So that's it. And then I guess hot topic is aggressiveness of women towards men, because
or vice versa.
Vice versa, you know. So let's not just say let's not just put it on women being aggressive toward men. This.
Go ahead. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, we're getting these.
You want on the camera?
Getting these interruptions. So the thing is the thing.
You can get on camera if you want. I'll set it up real quick.
The thing is, you know, when you have a man and let's say he's educated, he's successful, you know, and let's not just take the professional athlete because that could be given. You know, let's just say you have someone that you know that's at work and a lot of people look at them, they see they're successful, they're doing their thing. You know, that's going to be attracted to women, and they see that this guy is focused. And then I always say that I don't know how you feel about this, that if a man has a beautiful woman and other women see that, you can agree or disagree.
You're more attracted.
Yeah, they're going to say, what did he do to get her that, you know, now, you know.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen me? I ain't the best looking man, but your daughter is very beautiful. So yes, I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah. So, but you know, it's not, to me, you know, what makes a person beautiful is the qualities on the inside, you know, and the character, you know, that a man is going to be a man as far as, you know, I don't see a loud person as, you know, a loud male as a man. I think that, you know, somebody said loudest person in the room is the coward, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree with that statement.
You know, a man goes about handling his business, taking care of his family, and doing the things that need to be done. And when people see that, you know, that solid character trait in you, it's attractive. And then, you know, you're going to have women coming up to you. But one thing, you know, our pastor said recently that, you know, and it sunk into me. He said, you know, he said a woman could be beautiful, but are you going to do it for this? Are you going to lose your family for that? You know, so that sunk in, and because it's always, you know, it's always a circle of
the devil's always willing to talk to you.
Yeah, it's always someone that's going to come at you, and in some way where it's going to be attractive, and then and men, we, you know, hey, men fall, you know, go back to King David, you know, all the way to presidents and priests, you know, I think the one we was talking about earlier, it was I believe it's Jimmy Swaggart.
Yes.
Yeah. But see, you know, we have to be strong and just endure to the end, because women, they're gonna come after a man. I mean, they look at you look at these men on TV. They come after them. They don't care if their woman's with them. I went to an NBA game and these women was dressed to a nine. They were down in the front row. So money. And the men, they know that. And then the men, you know, they come, and a lot of them know, if I wasn't in this position, would I get this woman? Would I get this type of woman? So it's a lot more to that than you know. And I'm not in that circle, so I can only speak to the experiences that I have dealing with.
Ooh, that's a good question.
What's that?
How do you guys handle aggressive women? And I've had these experiences before, actually, so I can definitely comment on this.
Well, one you got to be careful. It depends. One, you just have to get out that situation as best as possible. If you at work, that's definitely not the place, because you don't want to get caught up in that, because if you got a woman pushing up on you, and women push up on you at work.
So one of the other viewers said, "How do you guys handle aggressive women?" The guy said, "You don't." Shout out to Andrew.
hey, you know, I don't want to make this thing sound political or anything, but again, you know, it's you know, let's be real. It's easy, and it's happened hundreds of thousands of times to different men.
Yeah,
it's easy to get caught up, you know, with that. Because you can start feeling yourself, you know, thinking you more than you are, more highly, thinking of yourself more highly than you ought to, and thinking that you deserve these things and all these women, and you know the what's that one religion where you can have 7 wives?
Mormon.
Mormon, you know,
Mormon,
thinking you're a Mormon, you know you're Baptist. Or non-denomination things like that, all against God's word, but.
So
you know,
a situation that happened to me, and not to cut you off, I apologize.
Go ahead.
So I was at a restaurant bar, sports bar area, not even that long ago. It was probably 5-6 months ago, and I had you know, they were playing music, and I know how to dance a little bit. Mm-hmm. And a young lady approached me and said, "Hey, my friend wants to talk to you." Mm-hmm. And the first thing I did is I turned around and I said, "Yeah, I got the ring on my finger," and I just got out the situation. Now, granted, Rachel wasn't happy about it when I told her.
Well, at least you told her.
Yeah. I have to,
believe me.
Because you know, word. No matter how big the world is, the word does get out fast, quick, and in a hurry. Yeah. So.
That's true.
One of my main beliefs for my marriage is as long as I let my wife know what is going on. Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on. So sex and money makes people go crazy and do some of the craziest stuff.
Absolutely.
Facts. Yeah, you're definitely right.
Absolutely.
So yeah, my biggest thing is as long as I tell my wife what's going on and I tell her the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, because all that goes into a court of law eventually if something could happen. Yes, exactly. You do have to communicate with your spouse, and communication is key. So I'm in a young marriage. We've been together 7 years, married for 5, going on 6, or coming up on 5. Together for 7, coming up on 5. And something I had to learn very young within our marriage is to make sure that Rachel knows everything, because she is very meticulous and very she could be an investigator.
Yeah. I wonder where she get it from. She got it from.
Apple don't fall far from the tree.
Hey, yeah, definitely. That ground was close, with that. But that's true, and it's still, after being married 3 decades, on certain situations that I've, learned and still learning. Don't have it all cranked up, but I know the value of my marriage. Sometimes for myself, I can talk myself out of things, but you're absolutely right. I think just being upfront and forward, that's best.
And I think for me, just our family in general, knowing that everybody has issues. So, my parents have issues. I'm sure you and Stella have had issues. But to see that you guys have worked through the issues, even I'm sure my grandparents have had issues, and they've been married for over 50 years. So to have role models like that, to show that no matter what happens, you can work through things, and divorce isn't the answer at all. Right. I mean, even you told me this when me and Rachel got married. As long as you build around God, there's nothing that you can't get through.
Put it like this: I can almost guarantee any married couple in this world, if they sit up here and say, "Oh no, we don't have any problems,
that's a lie.
We get along," things like that, be like, "Who you married to yourself?" And you still got problems. But every couple, it's a building foundation of marriage. Yeah. You're going to go through problems because we're dealing with you're
dealing with life.
You're dealing with 2 imperfect people that's coming into a perfect institution created by God. And we learn that through our church. God created marriage, and we got to understand that. Amen. For a woman. And
yeah, shout out to Eve for tricking us into eating the apple.
fruit. But and again, probably touched on some things where people may disagree with, but it's two imperfect people coming together. And one thing we have to understand is that we're the ones who make ourselves happy, because our spouse, I'm coming with my problems, you coming with yours, our wives, they coming with their problems. Thing is, can we deal with it? Can we deal with it? So it's always a growing lesson, in the marriage.
So just something I want to add to this before we move on.
Yep.
A word within marriage, when you take that oath, I guess is what we'll call it, or promise. A word that stuck out to me when me and Rachel were in the courthouse, because we had a courthouse wedding, is unity.
Okay.
Base word unit.
All right.
And that's I just looked up the dictionary. It's a quantity chosen as a standard in terms of which other quantities may be expressed. So as long as your unit is within your standards that you set, and I think that's something that was great for my marriage, is we had standards that we set. Now, granted, they may have changed over time, mainly with kids. I've seen the way I was raised, and people around me were raised.
Yeah.
May have been different from the way that you guys raised Rachel,
right?
And what she saw around her. So, G unit. But yeah, so I think with that, having kids, again, back to communication. As long as you're communicating and your building blocks are together.
Yeah.
And you're moving, just like you said earlier. You and Stella had great communication when it came to schoolwork and where you wanted your kids. So I believe me and Rachel have that figured out.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't just happen overnight. I'll say that.
Nope.
Because I'll go ahead and I'm the lenient one, and Rachel is definitely the more strict one.
Yeah. But you need that balance, because you don't want to disencourage your kids. You don't want to, just throw them off course. It's not, children love to hear their parents say how proud they are. That's a confidence builder with that. But they also need that discipline, and discipline comes in different forms. Whether you sit them down, I know some people are against, beating children with belts and things like that. And to a certain extent, things like that.
I'm sure it could get out of control. Like I'm sure there's a boundary within that.
Yeah.
Shout out to the beaten herd around the world.
That was deserved. That's why she graduated from college today, because of that. That set the standard. And that was probably her last discipline. See, I have to be politically.
The one and only. Yeah.
I got to be politically correct on that. You say beaten, then you'd be like, oh, let's arrest him. I was disciplining her. Just say her mother closed the doors, and her brother acted like he was asleep.
And to piggyback off of that, I know your era growing up, or at least my parents that I know of. My dad always told me that he was paddled in school.
Yeah.
So I never had to go through that. But
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, you didn't go home and tell your parents that that the teacher put a paddle to your backside, because it was embarrassing them. Because if you did, then you got one at home. So you learn, and that's when teachers had, they were more respected, in my opinion, and valued, because they were also, they were more of a village. They had your best interest in you. They didn't let you sit there, go in school and cut up and act a fool and things like that.
Yeah.
They had paddles in school. They had rulers stacked up. They got now, whether people agree or disagree, you can do damage to a child by beating them. So let's not get that twisted, or and get off course with that. You have to know how. I don't believe like when we discipline our kids, there was no smacking in the face, hitting on the head, and things like that. busting them in the chest and things like that.
It
Ricky may disagree or whatever, but no serious, no damage. You sit up there, and you know, you add your form of discipline, because honestly, with children, you know, words, parents, a lot of parents would tell you, you know, you sit up there, raise your voice with words, they're gonna look at you. Then you got to, you know, straighten them up.
Yeah,
you got to straighten them up.
Hashtag bring paddles back to schools again.
That's right. That's right. Get them right. Get them some get right.
So we kind of got off course there, and
okay.
Shout out to Stella. She said, "Good job, AJ." Yeah, no, I mean, we learned from y'all, so learn from the best. T's laughing. Discipline comes in many forms. Correct. Yeah, you're definitely right. That was your sister talking.
Mm-hmm.
You got it pulled up. Can you read the comments now?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll just let you read
okay.
it. You know.
But let's see here. So yeah, I guess we could bring that up real quick to show. Do you believe you obviously believe in discipline, correct?
Yeah, to a certain form.
Okay.
You know, to a certain form, because it you know, that's the way I was raised, kept me on course.
Yeah.
That's the way my children was raised, kept them on course. And you know, you have to do what works for your household. Everything is not for everyone.
Yeah, it always starts with the foundation.
You have to find out what's good for your household. You know, maybe some children you can sit down and speak to, and they get it. And then there's others that don't get it. You know, and as a parent, you have to identify that. You know, with your 3 children, you want to find out they're in the same household, getting the same values, but you got to alter the way that you discipline them. You know, you may be able to send baby girl to the room or whatever, or a timeout, and then the other ones you may have to, you know, give them a few straps on the butt, on the legs, or whatever. You know, agree or disagree. You know, you have to do what's best for your household.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts over the whole episode?
Yeah, no, we covered quite a bit. I don't think we got too deep in the aggressiveness of men and women. We touched on it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess we could go back because we kind of got off topic a little bit.
We did.
So yeah, I think I don't know what I think. I feel like it's in some cases abused, I guess. For lack of better words, just either men or women.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say setting the other person up.
Yeah.
Because you know, and it's like Andrew said earlier, sex and money can do a whole lot of things to make people crazy. So
yeah, can you control it when you get it? You know,
exactly.
Things like that. But a lot of time people look at your life not knowing what it took for you to get there, and they want it. So if a woman sees a man, you know, with the woman, and apparently, you know, the lifestyle, the house, you know, and all the things that go with that, and you know, she looking at that man, you know, she's going to want that too as well, you know. So, and then, you know, she's going to put her catwalk on him and see if he bites. You know, a lot of men have, you know, went and bit the cat, for lack of a better words.
No problems, Beck. So right form of discipline is correct. However, across the board, it's a lack of discipline that is the issue with these young kids these days. Yeah.
That's when we let them just sit up there, get away with things, don't say anything to them.
Well, in defense, you know, a lot of these young kids, and, you know, that, I'm going to call DCFS on here, or whatever.
So let them call them.
Yeah.
I will call them out. Because, see, they don't know what's going to happen. They're going to be taken out of their homes, and they're going to be put into a life that they can't handle. And then the first thing is, I want to come home. I want to come. No, you call them.
Okay.
And then let them go. You know, before you sit up there and act a fool in my house, and you think you're going to do things, you don't have a job, can't afford yourself, can't buy your own clothes, things like that. And even if you could do these things, but as long as you're under the roof, the rules apply. Yeah.
And then, so Andrew said, but guys, it's nothing new. The book of Proverbs talks about the woman who tricks the fool to get him into bed.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of fools out there.
Yeah.
Mirrors. You know, so, but that's something that's been going on. As I said before, back in King David times. So he went, took Harai, the Hittite's wife. So it's something that's not going to stop because Satan see that plan works, and he's going to continue it.
Yeah.
And we as men, we have to stay focused and realize that what we have is very valuable, and we don't want to ruin that. So, and it's always a lesson that we have to.
Stella said Andrew got deep, which was the guy that made that last comment. So
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So
what's going on, Dad? I see you watching. Shout out to my pops.
Shout out.
So, and Andrew said it's the only way I know, Stella. Yeah. I think I say this on every episode because a lot of people see Andrew. He's definitely an avid listener. Shout out to Andrew. So, Andrew, quick story, and I normally say this story. So Andrew was actually from right outside my hometown, but we actually met on the ship.
Okay.
So on our first deployment, we were actually at a Bible study.
All right. Okay.
We were at Bible study, and what I forgot what they call him in the military. It's not the pastor, but it's like the guy that runs the chaplain.
Oh, chaplain. Okay.
Yeah. So the chaplain is deep is where the knowledge is at. So the chaplain was asking us. Where everybody's from. And me being from a small town, we normally say Chicago first.
Okay.
Oh, you're from Chicago? No, I'm actually not from Chicago. I'm from a small town by Peoria is where we go next. And that's what he said. He's like, oh, yeah, we're at, like, I know where Peoria is at. Where, what town are you actually from? And I said, well, do you know where Galesburg's at? That's the next smallest one. So it's like a chain: Chicago, Peoria, Galesburg.
Okay.
So he said, "You're first, my second." And then so he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm from right outside Galesburg. I'm from Monmouth, which is a college town, kind of up north from where I'm from, which is Knoxville, but it's still a 30-minute drive. My sister actually lives in Monmouth now, but so that's how we met. So shout out to Andrew, also a avid follower. We definitely appreciate the love and support from you,
Andrew. Thanks for your
travel
support.
light, my brother. So, great dude. He's also opened his own business.
Okay.
He was on the last episode over a phone conversation. So if you guys ever get a chance, go to Monmouth. Check out my guy. Oh yeah, we were on deployment. So check out my guy. He goes by the Bolo Barber because he wears the bolo ties. He's kind of a young cat with an old school mind. So very respectable guy.
Sound like some wisdom there.
Yeah. He was a Marine, so I don't know how much wisdom he has.
Okay.
But yeah, so definitely shout out to Andrew. I appreciate all that.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that was watching the show today.
Appreciate
everybody
you.
that commented. Always a blessing to be able to speak to you guys and to have you guys listen to everything we're talking about. And if it's not interesting, let us know. We take constructive criticism very well. Thank you, T. She said, great show, guys.
Okay.
Definitely appreciate that. But other than that, you got any final thoughts for the final time?
Well, just, I enjoy being here. Thanks for, bringing me on the show. We sit up here, just have a good time sitting back talking, fathers, sons, friends, and just learning from each other. Because I got to realize I can learn from you all just as much as you can receive from us. Yeah. So that comes full circle. And then appreciate everyone who tuned in today. Again, I thank my wife for sticking with me and supporting me. Hey, just continue to listen,
Yeah, definitely. Again, so this is the word around town. You guys are, hey, Pops, what's going on? I'm sorry you showed up at the end of the show, but again, Stella, thank you for the great show comment. We definitely, obviously, we'll talk about it as soon as we come to the kitchen. But, this another song by your son, by the way. I'm sure you've never heard it, but we definitely appreciate all the viewers, all the listeners. We definitely, if you get a chance, You can message me. We take constructive criticism. If you like the show, let us know. If there's anything you want us to talk about in the near future, let us know. If you'd like me to bring Rick back to the show, which I definitely appreciate you coming on to the show.
Yeah.
It was definitely the drive was well worth it, I'm sure.
Yeah. We got down here in a timely manner. I'm telling you, when we were driving down here to Rachel graduation, we was grinding down here. That traffic was serious, but we just kept moving forward.
So yeah, guys. So this was the word around town. Thank you for watching, and we'll hope to see y'all again soon.
Doing our thing.
Not even Mike could stop me. Tyson, Jordan, Jai White. Hold on. Every single move I make will be caught on. I'm dropping knowledge on these kids like I'm Zordon. I bet your favorite rapper really wanna work with me. I ghost right for a fee, a hit certainly. 10 for 10, bat 1,000, it's so perfectly. They never see it coming like a red dot. I always seem to win no matter if it's lose or draw. I'm the bow and you a foe, check the view from y'all. My existence no longer kept from view of y'all. Ooh, my word is good, bro. I'm something like the news from God. I call Scotty, we running late. This shit doing business with the state. And I just kill him at the stake. All I need is a bad bitch, a fresh steak. Pretty young, think she wanna throw that back in it. You know I back fast, one night a tab hit it. I make them songs you wanna rap with it. Light another bowl, Pat, how is that fitting? I heard a nigga jealous, wanna put the tech referee. You know a bitch is crazy, wanna put the hex on me. I know the world don't give a damn if I rest in peace. Never shall you wake the bees, bring that war like Middle East. Guess my path has been enlightened. Lucy in the sky with all her diamonds. UDFA, that's the first passage. Original nigga, I am one savage.